Conquer overwhelm and find more balance. Stick around for some game changing strategies in today's live stream. Keep calm and lead on winning strategies for stress free leadership. Hello, friends. Are you ready to reclaim more of your time and your sanity? Stick around because I've got some strategies for you today. If you're drowning in tasks, if you need more harmony and productivity on your team, if you want more of that elusive work life balance, you are in the right place. If we haven't met before, hello and welcome. I'm Deanna Maio, and I'm the founder of The Vivid Woman. I've been helping entrepreneurs and business owners, business leaders just like you, break free from overwhelm, build high performing teams, and lead with confidence for 20 years now. And today, I got to tell you, what happened before this live stream started is so absolutely on par with our topic today of sharing some stress free leadership strategies. So here's the story. This is the second time I'm doing this introduction because the first time today, my microphone wasn't working. And then my camera stopped working. And I had to stop the live stream. My amazing, amazing assistant, Carmela, redid everything. I did the troubleshooting on my end for the microphone and the camera. I actually used a new cable for the mic, a completely different camera. And here we are. And I think it is just comical that the topic today is about stress free leadership. It just kind of cracks me up actually how absolutely on par it is because I was feeling, let's see, a little bit of stress about the fact that I had done this intro for the live stream and my microphone was muted and I couldn't see at the time Carmela privately chatting to me because I had my notes up on the screen as well. And what's interesting is I have a very big monitor, but I want my notes right where the camera is. So as I look at them, I'm looking at you, right? Instead of over here or down here, right? And so I couldn't see the private chat in our live streaming tool. We use Restream as of right now. And she was saying that your microphone is muted. We can't hear you. I thought, of course. Of course, my microphone is muted. It's perfect for today's live stream. So I want to welcome you. I want you to know I'm a human and stuff pops up for me too. I am not perfect. I am not a robot. I am not AI. I get overwhelmed also. I could stand to have a little bit more balance and kick overwhelm to the curb. And I mean, let's face it, overwhelm stinks. But I'm here to help you boost your productivity, lift your spirits, and find more balance. So if you are ever feeling stressed, which I'm guessing you have at some point, maybe more than once, then you're in the right place today. If you've ever felt like you're drowning in a sea of tasks, just struggling to stay afloat, give me a yes in the chat. You ever feel like your team is, let's be honest, more than a headache than more than a help? Let me know with a yes. If you're tired of sacrificing your personal life for the sake of your business, if you know that when you're with the people and the passions you love that you're not really present, give me a yes. If you're ready to ditch overwhelm, kick it to the curb, punch it in the larynx, then let me know. And we're going to hop right in with some tips, tricks, and strategies that have worked for me and my clients over the last 20 years or so. I mean, let's face it, stress is inevitable to some extent because we are hardwired to see danger or something we perceive as danger. Our body floods our mind triggers our body. We get flooded with hormones, adrenaline being one of them, so that we can either fight, flight, or freeze. And it goes back to cave people days. But we're no, I mean, I think most anyone still living in a cave here, I shouldn't say we're not. I shouldn't assume. You know what happens when we assume. So we're no longer living in a cave, and there's no real danger. And yet, that part of our mind, and research says it's the amygdala, that lizard part of the brain, triggers this experience happening in our body before we even have conscious thought. And now it feels like we have to fight, flight, or freeze. And then we have stress. Right? Physical stress. Now, we need that reaction because sometimes we are in real danger, but we don't need it as much as we usually have it, at least these days, right? And so, if we're overwhelmed, if we're doing more than or attempting to do more than is actually possible, if we're encountering challenges and we don't have resilience built up, it can make the day feel like there's a huge cloud just looming over us, right? Like Eeyore, I don't know how I'm gonna get through the day. And it makes every task feel like we have to have like the strength of Hercules to get it done. And while I'm tough and strong, I don't want to work that hard when I know I don't have to work that hard. And on top of all of that, if you are a female entrepreneur, business owner, or leader, or you identify as female, you may feel the pressure to do it all in a way that other people don't. And it can feel, well, suffocating. I like to call it being in the blender. So I want you to imagine a blender for a moment that's like human size, and you're inside, and someone pushes the puree button, and you're just spinning around, trying to grasp onto the walls, just something to keep you stable. That's what it feels like in my brain when I am overwhelmed by tasks. But I know it doesn't have to be this way, and it doesn't have to be that way for you either. So today, I'm going to share some root causes of overwhelm and give you some actionable strategies, like real things you can do to break free from its grip. So if you're excited to be here and you're joining us live, please comment live. If you're here listening to the replay, so glad you made it. Hashtag replay in the comments. That would be amazing. And that way we know we are not alone. Just earlier today, as a matter of fact, I was chatting with a colleague and we were talking about our similar habit that everything is a lyric for us as musicians and lovers of music. She's a lover of music. I'm a musician. It seems like everything I say or read is a lyric. And so just now, when I said "You Are Not Alone," I thought of that amazing Michael Jackson song. Do you know it? You are not alone. I am here with you. It's such a great song. So if you haven't heard it in a long time, go listen to it. Pull it up on YouTube. You'll love it. Combine that with Man in the Mirror, and you'll feel very hopeful about the world. All right, so let's dig into our tips for today. Are you ready for some real actionable strategies, like actual things you can do that will make a change? We've got to make a change. See, it happens all the time. I'm going to stop fighting it. If you like it, great. If you don't, I'm not for you. That's okay. So let's jump in. The first thing is we have to get clear on what the problem actually is, the root cause, the source. So we have to identify the source of the overwhelm. And one of the ways that you can do this is to just take a moment and reflect on what's causing you the most stress in your life and your business. And you can actually just sit, be quiet, take a couple of deep breaths, and then say out loud, what is my biggest cause of stress? And you will hear in your mind, see in your mind, or feel the answer. It's the most crazy thing. I don't have a way to back that up with science, but I have done it with clients for years and years and years. And as long as they get themselves into that quiet place, they know the answer. We always know the answer. We just can't always access that internal wisdom or intuition, you might call it, that knowing, because there's too much stuff going on in the blender with us. So maybe it's you just actually have too much work on your plate. Maybe you're not feeling the support of your team. But once you pinpoint the source of the overwhelm, you can start to address it head on. One of the ways I like to suggest my clients in the High Performing Profitable Team Formula program do this is by taking a week and just tracking their time. Where is it really going? So that's a combination of your calendar, but also for everything that's not scheduled, making note of what you did during that time. If that in itself feels overwhelming, I don't blame you. I wouldn't want to do it either, which is why I recommend folks use a time tracking software or app to see where their time is really going. Two that I have used and I found easy to use. One is Toggle Time. That's TOGGL time, or tracking time to see where their time goes. If you decide to try one of those systems for a week to see where your time's going, please send me a direct message and let me know how it's going. All right. The next tip is about implementing some effective time management techniques. Now, there are lots of techniques out there, and I'm having problems with my camera again. I can see it, and I'm going to keep calm and not allow it to impact my body and my attitude. I say I'm not going to allow it, but let's be honest. It's really tough when it's happening and you're supposed to be going live on Facebook. All right. There are lots of brilliant people out there teaching time management techniques and strategies. And I know that implementing some of those techniques can be overwhelming in and of itself. Pick one. Try it for a week. Call it an experiment. Don't try to overhaul your entire time management strategy. You'll drive yourself nuts. But there are some things that you can do to, give yourself a little bit more breathing room. So one thing could be blocking out time on your calendar where you're not available for appointments. So perhaps you're using a tool like Acuity or Calendly. I know some of you are probably using the built-in tools in your CRM like Go High Level or Entreport. Give yourself some dedicated blocks of time for focused work, not for meetings. No meetings, focus work. I like to call it focus time. I have some on my calendar. Sometimes I keep it, sometimes I remove it, sometimes I move it. But having it in the first place is helpful, and that you can actually get some stuff done where you're not getting interrupted by email. Like close your email, close your DMs, turn your phone over so you don't see any notifications popping up. Notifications are the worst for interrupting you. And then if you work in a space where there are other people, let them know you need to be uninterrupted. Put on some quiet music and put your head down and focus on one thing at a time. It's not easy, but it's worth it. You can also just start by reprioritizing your tasks and delegating what you can, or delegating the very first part of something to your team to get it moving in the right direction, to get some progress on it altogether. Let's talk about tip number 3, and that is cultivating a supportive environment. Whether it's a virtual assistant or joining a mastermind group, finding your tribe and leaning on them when you need help is a very valuable strategy for keeping stress at bay. You want to surround yourself with people who lift you up and who support your goals. 2 songs there came to mind. I'm not going to share what they are. So one way you can do that is by, getting some help from a person or persons, and then keeping your calm when your camera is being so absolutely wacky. I really don't know what's going on with it, but I'm not very happy right now. Golly gee Moses. And then one other element of having a supportive environment is, setting clear boundaries with people to protect your time and your energy. So let them know when you're available, for, chatting or your, on demand. I think of it like your open office hours and when you're not. If you're not going to be available for a period of time, let them know when you will be available. In this way, they're not waiting on you for something and they can move forward with, while they're waiting on you to get back to them. Uh, Incredibly important if you're not co-located with your team and you can't see them and they can't see you, right? So if you use some sort of chat software like Slack, we use Teamwork Chat here at the Vivid Woman, you can mark yourself unavailable, or you can just send a note to everybody and say, "Hey, I'm going offline for a little bit. I'm going to, return these things to the UPS store and get out of the house for the first time in 3 days and have actual fresh air and sunshine, and I'll be back around this time." I do that quite a bit. And Carmela's smiling because she knows that I do. And it's just because I don't want her waiting on me for something, especially if it's urgent. I want her to know when I'm going to get back to her. I think of that as part of the definition of being a professional, right? When you're a professional, you do what you say you're going to do. And when you can't, you let those impacted know as soon as possible so they aren't negatively impacted more. It's all about communicating, right? All right, I've got two more tips for you, but before I share them, I am curious to know what has stood out for you so far during our time together. Pop me a little nugget in the chat, hashtag nugget, to let me know what you're taking away from our time together so far. And while I'm thinking of it, I want to let you know that if you really are ready to break free from overwhelm, these tips will absolutely get you moving in the right direction. But you're likely to need a little bit more support as you unlock your full potential into a lesser stress leadership. So I want to invite you to join me for a game changing private game plan strategy session with me. And we are going to create a roadmap, an actual plan, step by step of what you need to have the team you desire, who they are, what are they doing in their roles, what results are they creating. We're going to uncover the hidden challenges, the hidden obstacles that might be in the way of you actually putting that team in place and getting the results you want from them. And you're going to walk away knowing exactly what you need to do to transform your team leadership in your business and get the results that you want. And you can see there on the screen, all you need to do to get yours is to visit deanna.live/game plan. That's deanna.live/game plan right down there so that you can get your session. I do have a limited number available every month. That is not swarmy used car salesman marketing language. It's actually true. I do take time off from time to time during the 7 days of the week to enjoy my life and my friends. And I expect that that's going to start growing more because I'm going to be in a warmer weather climate where I want to be outside more, and I'll be in a place where I have more friends, which is Naples, Florida. Very excited about going back there in about a week or so. And, who knows how long I'll be there. I hope forever. All right, let's go into our fourth tip, and that is all about self-care. Self-care is the antidote to stress. To stress. Self-care is the thing that kicks stress right in the gut. And it's not selfish. It's essential for our well-being, right? So you can make time for activities that nourish your body, nourish your soul. These are not things that have to cost money. You don't have to spend to go to a fancy spa every week just to get yourself into a good place. You could go out and take a walk in the sunshine and listen to a podcast you enjoy or some music. You can sit and meditate. That's absolutely free. You can reach out to people that you love spending time with and make an appointment, make time to get together. Go to the zoo, read, join a book club. I don't love to read, so I don't do book clubs, but I reached out to my sister not long ago. I knew she was busy over the weekend, but I was like, "Hey, what are you doing after the soccer game this weekend?" And she was like, "I got to go to Home Depot and I need to drop some stuff off at the UPS store." I'm like, "Hey, can I come with you?" And so we ran errands together and we had a fun time because, of course, anytime she and I are together, we have a blast. One other thing you can do just to get moving into the self-care, direction is to look at how you could start your day with a more positive tone. So I don't know what your morning routine is, Maybe you do tea or coffee, maybe you meditate, maybe you exercise. But if it's not serving you in a way that sets your day up with some positivity, see what you can't do to make that happen, right? So I'd ask you to consider, how could you start your morning off even better than it is right now with some sort of activity that nourishes your body, your mind, your soul, your spirit. So maybe it's listening to some uplifting music. That's one of the things that I believe changes our state faster than anything else. Second thing that changes our state is movement. So you could have a dance party, you could do some yoga, you could get a cardio workout in, whatever works for you. But see what you can do to start acting with a little bit more self care in your life, because it is the absolute antidote to stress. It adds somewhat of a, like, self care has a suit of armor around us that protects us from the stressful things in our life, and it helps us build our resilience. Kind of like spinach for Popeye, if you remember Popeye. All right, last tip for today is all about work life balance. Now, I am not a believer that it's actually balanced. So, balance means equal parts. Well, I don't want you working as much as you're living the rest of your life. That's not balance. That's not good for us. I like to think of it more like a recipe and finding the right amount of each ingredient for your recipe. Yeah. Finding harmony between your professional life and your personal commitments. And I'm not just talking about time on the calendar. I'm also talking about that when you're with the people that you love, when you're doing the passions that are important to you, that you can actually be present instead of what I see most people doing. They go out to dinner with people and they're on their phone like the whole time. I don't even know. They might be chatting with the other people at their own table. But if we can just get this away from us and be present with people, that's going to reduce our stress. Be present with the passions we love. Whatever your hobbies or activities are that you enjoy, like, be there when you're doing them in the moment. And if you've been an entrepreneur for a while or a business owner for a while, I know how incredibly difficult that can be. I know, because I struggle with it too. But we've got to prioritize what truly matters to us. And one of the ways to do that is to just schedule regular check ins with ourselves to assess our priorities and make adjustments. Maybe you do that every Friday afternoon before you go into the weekend. Maybe you start that on Monday mornings because that works for you. I'd recommend you start weekly. And then as you get some routines and things in place that work for you and you're keeping your priorities in check, then maybe you switch to a monthly check in. It can be so helpful to just ask. And again, you can just get quiet, take a couple of deep breaths, and ask, what's working right now in my business? What priorities do I want to be giving my time, energy, and money to? And you would be shocked at how your inner knowing, your wisdom, knows the answer. Now, if that's difficult for you to do on your own, I totally get it. That's why people hire coaches like me to help support them and get clarity, because sometimes you cannot see the forest for the trees. And sometimes all you see is the forest and you can't see the trees at all. So I want to invite you to join me for a game plan session, a private strategy session with me to get really clear. And you're going to walk away from our time together knowing the next action you should take to move towards having the right supportive environment, less stress, really maximizing the efficiency and the productivity of your team so that you can reach your goals faster and easier than if you go at it on your own. And the way you can get yours today is by visiting me at deanna.live/game plan, which is right there on the screen. All right, friends, the tips I've shared with you today will absolutely help you if you put them into practice. You'll have more productivity and efficiency. Your team and you will have higher morale and better performance. You'll feel more joy and peace as you go through your day, even when stress pops up, because we're never going to eliminate all of it. We just can't. It's not what living on planet Earth is all about. And you'll start to see more sustainability in your energy and in your growth. And I really hope you'll take one of these 5 tips and put them into action so you can start experiencing less stress in your business life, in your personal life, in your leadership. And I want you to remember that you do have the power to overcome overwhelm and lead with confidence if you take action. It's not that knowledge is power, it's that applied knowledge. Knowledge in action is power. And I want you to feel that power every single day. All right, friends, thanks for tuning in and exploring the world of stress free leadership with me. Stay tuned for more live stream videos, tips, tricks, and strategies, inspiration to help you achieve your goals by having a high performing, profitable team so you can go out there and live your best life right now, not waiting until you're 80 years old in retirement, but right now, today. Until the next time, take great care, keep calm, and keep leading with passion and purpose. People need what you're up to on the planet. Your team needs you to be a strong leader. And together, you're going to change the world one customer or client at a time. All right, everybody, have a great rest of your day. And while you're at it, see if you can't make it a great day for someone else too. Bye for now.